Темой сегодняшнего нашего видеоурока является
The
натюрморт.
subject of today's video lesson is a still life, which consists of bright, colorful fruits. You'll learn how to make a background wash as well as how to paint small details in full color. Here is the finished watercolor piece I'll paint in today's video lesson. I begin by preparing the watercolor paper for painting. I wet the reverse side with a soft, natural hair brush, and when this side is saturated with water, I turn it over. The front side already has a still life sketch done in soft graphite pencil, and I wet this side with a flat brush as well, making sure I don't leave any gaps. After the paper absorbs the water for several minutes, I blot it with a paper towel to absorb the excess water. A mix of ultramarine and sepia is prepared on the palette. I use a big flat brush for this purpose. With the same brush, I paint this mix on the paper. The mix of two complementary colors, ultramarine and sepia, give a neutral silvery gray color. With the background in place, I can now continue painting the fruits. For the dark color, I'm using burnt umber, sepia, and ultramarine. Because I paint watercolor in alla prima, which means in one session, I usually start it from the top left corner so my right hand can rest on unpainted paper. There is a limit how dark a pure red color can be. To deepen up its tonal value, I may have to add another pigment, blue or violet for example. You may have noticed I'm using the same brush for big and small details. This brush has a pointed tip which is loaded with a lot of pigment and very little water. Small amounts of water on the paper and brush also prevents pigments from sinking into the fibers of the paper too much. The skin of this pomegranate is also painted from light to dark. This way, it's easier to control tonal values, but even more importantly, it makes the colors of the artwork brighter and more saturated. The pomegranate seeds are painted in only two pigments, red and ultramarine. Its color is mixed from vermilion, yellow, and raw sienna. Because this is a small-sized watercolor, the progress is quite fast and the paper is still moist. The feeling of how wet the paper should be and how much water should be on the brush only comes with practice. This artwork is almost complete. I'm doing some finishing touches, adding cast shadows, and signing this artwork with my name.